Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, the episode 4, I'm going to explore tonal values. This video also happens to be a request from one of my subscribers, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I approach tonal values, how to practice them, the shading process, and how to apply them in different subjects in your drawing. Okay, and I suggest you watch this video completely so that you won't miss out on the necessary topics and information that I'm giving you in this video. And having said that, let's begin the tutorial. So friends, part of this lesson is how to practice the tonal values. So what you're going to need for this is a 10B pencil, not less than a 10B, okay, because 10B gives you the proper dark tone. And you hold the pencil this way and you start using zigzag motion, and then vary the pressure on the pencil to create light, medium and darker values, and vice versa. What this method will give you, it will help you to it will free your hand, and it will help you to properly place these tonal values in your drawings. You don't have to practice this in a good paper. You can use a newspaper or any other material. Make sure you practice this at least 20 to 30 times every day, because the more you practice, the more effective your drawings will be. And use different hand motions to create nice patterns. The important thing here is to vary the pressure on the pencil. And the other way to practice this, which also happens to be my favorite way of shading, is to use just the lead of this 10B pencil, and then do the same thing with the lead, that is light, medium and dark tone. Light, medium and dark. And when you practice these sorts of things, you can get pretty boring after a while. So what you can do is create a random shape or an abstract shape, and then apply some tonal values to that. The priority here is to vary the pressure on the pencil to create light, medium and dark tones. And it is very important that we use these tonal values in our drawings, because it will make the drawing look more beautiful. I practice these tonal values every now and then, just as a warm-up exercise. If you are a beginner, new to drawing, then you must make this as a priority to practice these value sketches as much as possible, okay? So the part 2 of this lesson, I'm going to apply some tonal values to these drawings that I did recently. You can see that I focused on the lines only for the moment. You can see there are lighter lines, medium lines and some darker lines going on. What I'm going to do is apply some tonal values to them. I will start with the still life, and then I will go for the landscape and then figures, okay? So I have a piece of lead in my hand, and I'm going to apply the tonal values that you saw in the previous part, that is the light, medium and dark tones. I'm going to start with the big shape here, that is the shadow area. I'm going to start with the medium tone, then I will move on to the darker ones. Establishing the dark tone suddenly, it can get difficult, so I'm starting with the medium tone. Like I said friends, varying the pressure on the pencil, I'm doing that. For the book here below, I'm going to use a darker tone. Some random tones for the drapery. A still life without drapery sometimes feels incomplete, because the drapery, the cloth, it provides a certain movement in the composition. It sort of directs the viewer's eye into the composition. I could go even darker for the shadow area of this teacup. So that's that, and now I'm going to redraw some of the lines just to create a focal point, because I do not want the viewer's eye to wander around. It has to be fixed at a certain part of the composition, because that will create a story. So once I place these values and some lines here and there in my drawings, what I do is I use an eraser to create highlights, and I erase the parts that I do not want, and simultaneously highlights are created. So friends, this is how I apply my tonal values when I'm drawing still life. And now I'm going to move on to apply tonal values to a landscape. So I start now with these distant trees. I'm going lighter as much as possible, because things at a distance always have light tone to them. I'm not sure how much dark I should be placing these values for the distant trees here. I will figure that out when I am placing the tonal values on the boat, which is fairly dark. Okay, now I start with the focal point, that is the boat here. A bit medium tone for the top. When I'm not sure what tone to place, I always start with the medium tone, because it can be erased. Once you go darker, it is difficult to erase, especially a 10B pencil. One thing for sure in this composition is the reflections on the water, they have to be darker. Also the bottom part of the boat as well. So without hesitation, I'm going to go darker, and I have to vary the pressure on the pencil just to get a lighter value. What I'm looking for is a gradation, light to dark. I do not want a stiff tonal values placed. If it is in gradient, it will look much better this way. Now the confusing part, that was the distant trees. Figured out that it can be a bit darker. Some trees, not all of them. This will create a connection between the foreground and the background. Well, now friends, I'm going to strengthen the shape of a boat with some nice simplified details. Okay, I'm going to use small lines here and there. Just to bring this boat to the front. Now for the highlights, again I'm going to use an eraser. Now I move on to the final subject, that is figures. Now for the figures, it's the same thing again, tonal values. I start with the medium tones, putting the pressure on the pencil. I'll go dark on the dress. And some gradation for the bottom of the dress. Friends, this is possible if you practice the exercises that I shared with you at the beginning of the video. Now mostly the tonal values overall look medium tone. So what I'm going to do is go darker on certain areas. Now I have to be precise, so that's why I'm going to use a direct pencil and establish a few more darker areas on the face and on the hat and other things. The lines that got diminished, and I'm placing tonal values, I'm going to redraw them with the 12B pencil and maybe a few details here and there. Now I erase some unnecessary parts in the drawing. I'm using a pencil eraser. It's basically a pencil, but instead of the lead, it is an eraser. So this is it, friends. This is how I apply tonal values to my drawings. Well friends, we are at the end of the lesson, and I hope that this video tutorial has been of some use to you in your art learning process. And if you have a specific request for a tutorial I should be making, let me know in the comment section, okay? And if you're new here, if you're new to my channel, please check out the playlist section. I've uploaded quite a bit of videos there, and if you like the content, please subscribe to my channel, okay? And I will be back soon with another video on how to draw quick portraits in different angles, which also happens to be a video request. And on that note, I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.